are on Nun Amid Aleph. Tomorrow night we'll learn Mitzvah Shem at 8:30.
All right.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
Good here. Oh, good. Got a crowd.
Chodesh.
Gidden Chodesh.
A good Chodesh.
So again, tomorrow night we'll learn at 8:30.
Yes.
So we're on Nun Amid Aleph, Masechta Shabbos 50. Ela Itmar Hachi Itmar Amar Rava Lo Shanu Ela Shelo Yichtin Latmana. When do we say that the wool is muktzah? When you didn't designate it prior to Shabbos to be toimin, to bear the food in. Aval Yichtin Latmana Metatanoso. But if you designated it, they're not muktzah. And I'll prove to you that that's correct. Itmar Nami Ki Yasuravna Rabbi Yaakov Rav Asi Ben Sholom Rebbe. When do we say it's muktzah? When you didn't designate it for atmona. Ravina says that in the Mishnah, when it said that the wool is muktzah, it's b'shel heftek shanu. That's a special way where they would gather the wool in a certain package, misudar. Like if you've ever gone into a factory, you'd see wool with baling wire, set up like in a box. That's industrial, for sale, and then it's muktzah. But otherwise, it's not muktzah. But if Erev Shabbos, the Balabais designated them for the purposes of use, metatal and also, then they're not muktzah. Tana Rabba Barachana becoming the Rab. Chario shel dekel. These are palm branches that are very hard from a palm, and you gathered them, you cut them for the purposes that you were going to use it for le'etzim, which is for building or for firewood. And those things would not be suitable for use on Shabbos. But v'nimach alei yeshiva. But you changed your mind and you decided you're going to sit on them. The machshava alone is not enough. Tzarich lekasher. You have to tie them up in bundles, and that's a siman that you've removed it from designation for eitzim and rather for yeshiva. So according to the Tanakama, you got to do a ma'isa. Rab Shimon Gamliel Omer Ein Tzarich L'Kasher. That the machshava alone is enough designation. Rashi says yichud b'machshava is not enough. Itmar Rav Amar Koisher, and Rav and Shmuel have the same machlokas as these Tanoim did. Rav said you needed to tie them up before Shabbos. So Shmuel Amar Choishev, it's machshav alone is enough. And comes a third shita, Vravasi Amar Yoishe. You have to sit on them a little bit Erev Shabbos. Afal pi shelo kisher. You don't need to tie them up. Afal pi shelo chishev. And you didn't necessarily put in your mind that you were going to use it. Sitting on it did it. Now the Gemara wants to know Bishlam Rav Huda Amar Tanakama. Rav clearly is following the Tanakama of our Mishnah. Ushmol Nami Damar Rav Shimon Gamliel. So we have two Tanaitic opinions. We don't have three. So Ela Ravasi Damar Kaman. Where is Ravasi pulling this shita from? So there is Huda Amar Tehai Tanya. He holds like the following Tanya, the Tanya. Yoitzin bepakurin uvitzipa bizman shetzavin b'shemen ukarcha b'mashicha. You could walk out on Shabbos with a bandage that is made out of flax, soaked in oil, because you had prepared it Erev Shabbos for that purpose. Lo tzovan b'shemen, but if you had not soaked it in oil, lo korcha b'mashicha, and you did not wrap it around the wound, ein yoitzin b'hem. You could not go out there. It's going to be muktzah. V'im yotza ben shachas. Now, if you went out with it, even for a few moments, mibod yom, from Erev Shabbos, afal pi shelo tzovav lo korcha b'mashicha, even though you didn't soak it or paint it or whatever, that's the concept of sitting on it. You did a maisa with it. Mutter lotzeis behem. So that's the third shita that we were looking for that Rav Asi is going like. Rav Ashi afanana mitanina. I've seen the same baraisa. Kash al gabi amita. You have straw that's in a pile that normally you would use for burning in a fire or to put into the clay to make building material, to make bricks. So that straw would be muktzah. Lo yananena biyodo. If you, for example, Avzan on Shabbos, you didn't prepare it Erev Shabbos. You see a pile of straw that's been set aside to be designated for those purposes. You can't Avzan decide, I'm going to spread it out and lie down on it with your hands. Aval menano begufo, but you could sort of lie down with your body. So it's like kila achar yad, says Rashi. It's like doing it not in a normal fashion. So that you'd be allowed to do. Aval hayalav Michael behema. But if there was food that you would give to an animal already lying on top of that straw, osha hayalav karo sadim bad yom, or there was a pillow or a mattress sitting on top of it already from Erev Shabbos, then it's not muktzah, because these items already are not muktzah. Menano biyadon. It's not muktzah. You could even do it with your hand. Shmamina. Uman Tana the Polygalid Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. Who is this Tana? Who is the name of the Tana that argues with Reb Shimon ben Gamliel that if you do an action, you don't need to do machshava? Reb Chanina ben Akiva. Rav Dimi Amrzir and Rav Chanina. Reb Chanina traveled to a certain place. He found these branches of palms that had been set aside to be used for fuel. Go designate them now, Erev Shabbos, or at least think about them, so that we can sit on them tomorrow. This was either a wedding or a funeral. Now, the treaty. It's only because a wedding or a funeral, people are very tarud, they're busy, they don't have time. So there, they gave a heter to do it just with machshav alone. Aval hacha kosher in loy kosher law. Normally you have to tie it, like the Tanakama. That's what we're asking. Who is the Tanakama who argued with Reb Shimon ben Gamliel? So it's from Chanina ben Akiva, because we proved from this case that it's only because it was a wedding or a funeral that because they were Torah, it was enough to have machshav alone. Otherwise, you'd have to take the time and effort to tie it up with string in order to do it. You have to do a maisa to take them out of the status of muktzah. Rav Yudah. Machnesanim lo kupaso offer. A person could take in a box of dirt, and it's not muktzah. Because the dirt could be used to cover spit or dung. He can put it on the floor of his house and use it for whatever his purposes are. You can do it on Shabbos. Dorsh Mar Zutra Mishmeda Mar Zutra Rabba. V'hu sheyichid lo keren zavis. As long as you designated a corner in your house to be muchan. You have to do this from Erev Shabbos, and you can't do it on Shabbos, but Erev Shabbos you can bring the dirt in, and you designate a place for it. Now the dirt can be used. But if you just put it in the middle of your house, in order for you to be able to walk on it, so then it's batul, Rashi says, to the karka of the house, and milksa. So doing it from Erev Shabbos is not enough if you just spread it around in the middle of the room. If you piled it up in a corner for use, like to cover dung or spit, so then you've removed it from its muktzah status. Amar Rabbanan Kamei to Rav Papa. Kiman, Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Must be like Rav Shimon ben Gamliel regarding the argument that he has with palm branches. Because the Ikra Banan, if you would be like Rab Chanina, Ha'amri Ba'ina Maisa, not enough just designation with thought. Remember, according to Rab Chanina, you got to tie it up. Here you're not doing any action to the dirt. No, you can hold that here by the dirt. It's also going like Rab Chanina, when do the Chachamim require a Maisa? Regarding something that you can do a Maisa too. What kind of Maisa can you do to dirt? Can't tie a string around it. Tie a string around palm branches, but not around dirt. Something that you can't do a Maisa on, you don't require Maisa. Machshav alone is enough. Okay, let us say that this issue is b'chlal a machlekes tanoim. Name it ketanoim. Bakol chafnas hakelim, you can scour or scrub all dishes, chutz miklei kesef bekartikon, except for silver, with this material gartikon is like some kind of chalk, in order to scrub kelim. Rashi says gartikon is some kind of dirt that are in barrels of wine. It's called alum, like aluminum. He says that's ikar tikun kli kesef. That's how they would fix silver, get the rust off, polish it. And it's an av malacha because it's mamache. So you can't use the gartikon for klei chesed. You can do it for other kelim. Aval neter v'chol muter. But ammonia and sand, that doesn't scrape the silver. There's no problem with mamachek on Shabbos, so that you would be allowed to do. I freak the Gemara v'atanya neter v'chol aser. There's a brisa that says that even sand is prohibited. And my lav v'haka miflagi, perhaps they're arguing in this very thing, the Mar Sover being in Maisa, that even though it's sand, it needs a Maisa, Mar Sover being in Maisa. So maybe this issue about bringing in dirt and whether you have to do a Maisa on it or not is a machlokes tanoim. Versus lo, kol maloi bein in Maisa. Since it's dirt, immediate the lav b'Maisa, says Rashi, we don't need to do a Maisa. Rather, this machlokes is something else. Ha Rav Yehuda, Rav Shimon, Ha Rav Yehuda, Rav Shimon is kavinos. That means this thing, when you use the sand, doesn't automatically, you don't have kavanah necessarily to scrape it. It's going to scrape the neila. It's going to happen. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So that's the machlokas between Rav Shimon and Rav Yehuda about davar shem miskavi. Rav Yehuda says, I don't care if you didn't have kavanah. It's also. Rav Shimon, that's davar shem miskavi mutter. So who of you set it up that it's mutter for Rav Shimon, who holds davar shem miskavi mutter? A maseifa. Well, let's look at the seifa of the very same baraisa you just quoted. You should not use it to shampoo your hair on Shabbos because it's going to pull your hair out. However, Reb Shimon Mishra Kashari. But Reb Shimon says if you're using sand to shampoo your hair, so your kavanah is to wash your hair, not to pull your hair out. So if any hair falls out, it's a davar shem iskaving. Why should it be osir according to Reb Shimon? Right? Because nazir choyfeif umafaspes. A nazir is not allowed to pull his hair out. So we're not even talking about Shabbos here. We're talking about even Monday or Tuesday. He's allowed to use sand to at least scrub his hair, but he can't have a losor. He can't use a comb because that will pull out hair. And it has to be Reb Shimon because he's clearly not having kavanah to pull his hair. It's matir. It's not a psik ratio because it doesn't happen all the time. So Elahava Rabbi Yehuda, it can't be Reb Shimon. It's got to be both Rabbi Yehuda. And Smachtrei Tanoa leave it Rabbi Yehuda. There's a machlokas Tanoim in terms of what Rabbi Yehuda hold here. High Talim of a gorir that sand will always scrape the kli. So High Talim Rabbi Yehuda of a loy gorir. It doesn't do it, and therefore it would be permitted. Now, the Ma'ukim take Rabbi Yehuda in Maseifa. So you set it up like Rabbi Yehuda in the safe of upon of Yadav Raglav Mutter. But the Nazir's face and hands, he can use it. Understand? If Rabbi Yehuda holds Davar Shem Iskavin is Osir, Hama'aber Seir, he's pulling air out, we shouldn't care whether it's coming, whether what is Kavanah. So Iboy Sema, you could say Bekot, who doesn't have, a child doesn't have hair. Iboy Sema Isho doesn't have hair. Iboy Sema Visari is a castrate person that doesn't have hair. So it's not going to lead to a pulling out of the hair of the Nazir. On Rabbi Yehuda, offer Levin to Shori. The ground spice, it doesn't pull out hair. You can wash with that kind of, it's like it's like an astringent. People
like
use
a pumice stone.
Yeah, it's like a powder that people would wash their face with to get rid of scaly skin, but that would not pull out hair. So that's why it's permitted. Rav Yosef kuspa de yasmin shori, some kind of jasmine.
Sesame pulp.
Right. Rava offer pilpuli shori, dirt from peppers were permitted. Rav Sheshes brada shori, my brother. Rav Yosef tilsa oila, a third aloe, tilsa osa, which is hadas, the tilsa sigli.
Violets.
Sigli are violets. By the way, the aloe is aloe. That's what people are making sanitizer from. If you have like any kind of alcohol and you have aloe, you pour some alcohol in the aloe and you have sanitizer. As long as it doesn't have the majority of aloe, shapir dami, it'll work, it won't pull out the hair. Okay, Bomi name Rav Sheshes. Ma'oliv so zaysim b'Shabbos. You want to like pound olives, and because you want to wash with the olive oil. First of all, they don't allow. This wouldn't even be permitted during a weekday. For example, you're not allowed to play with your food. You're not allowed to destroy food. So perhaps because of this edict, you're not allowed to damage zaysim because it's a food and it's going to lead to hefsed oichlim. And it's like a baltashchis. Lema pliga de Shmuel. If they allow it, perhaps they hold like Shmuel, or the person who doesn't allow it does not hold like Shmuel. Shmuel held that you could do whatever you wanted with food. Whether you're going to bake it or cook it or use it, whatever, any usage of food is okay. So the Gemara says, no, it's not food, it's only bread. Paslo me'isa, hani me'isa. Bread does not become disgusting when you crumble it or break it up, but this becomes disgusting when you hack the olives to get the zaysim out, and then it's mos. That's something that would be prohibited even according to Shmuel. Amemar, Marzutra, Ravashi, Avayosfi. These three Amirim were sitting. Aisul Kamayu Brada. They brought that kind of mixture of aloe and violet. Amemar Ravashi Moshu. I guess on Shabbos. Amemar Ravashi did wash with it. Marzutra didn't wash. They asked, how come you didn't wash? Don't you hold the Rav Sheshes who said it's permitted to use brother? Of Mordechai, Bar Minei Demar, because that he said even during the weekday you're not allowed to use brother. Why not? Savarloki Haitana. He held like a fine price, so that Megar Adam Gilbeit Sovi Gilbeit Makashop Sarvishul Saro. Person could scrape dung, I guess it was dried up, on his skin as some kind of pain relief. However, in Bishvil Yafos Osir, but if he did it as a cosmetic reason, it made him look better, it's prohibited. Why? Lo tilbash gever simlas isha. Why a man cannot undergo cosmetic surgery? Man shouldn't put on makeup because of yilbash gever simlas isha. So the reason why he didn't wash with brada, he held it was like a cosmetic. Hello? So it's a whole different issue. It has nothing to do with Shabbos. Now the Chachamim, who permitted to use it, how come they are not worried about Yilbash Gever Simlas Isha? The Inu Kamansav, who do they hold like? They hold Kihai D'Tanya. You know what? It's important to wash your face every day because you have to present yourself to Kodesh Baruch Hu. You have to be kovadik. So to look good is not a problem. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Omer in the Mishnah, Kupa matal tzida v'noitel shamayito, that if you put a basket in the wool for hatmana, so you would have to sort of tip it out of there, because we're concerned if you lift the whole thing, the space that the basket was in is going to fill with the wool. You're not going to be able to put the basket back. So leave it there and just tilt it. Everybody agrees that if you remove the basket and the wool fell in to occupy that space, that you can't return it. However, Tanan, the Mishnah immediately said, if everyone agrees that it's muktzah, how did the Chachamim argue and say, no, you can remove it and put it back? If the space had not filled in with the wool, so fine. That's why you could put it back. Shaper Kamer Rabbana. Elalav. So what are you going to tell me? Afal Pista Niskak Laguma. Low. So, but what about if it's Niskalkel? We just everybody said it's Osir. Elalav must be Afal Pista Niskak Laguma, that it's not muktzah. Versus lo. L'olam de lo niskakla. The case was that when you lifted the basket, the items were like stuck where they were. They didn't fall in and fill the place. But rather, are we choishesh? We don't know for sure whether some of the wool fell back in. If it's back in and you put it back in, you're over muktzah. That means if you look at it and it looks like it hasn't fallen back in, then you can assume it didn't fall back in. Ravuna. Hi, slikusta. This is some kind of branch that people would bring in
It's
a flower pot.
a daffodil branch.
There you go. It was a flower that was brought in for beauty. It was in a flower pot and also for a nice smell. And it was brought in with its dirt. Dotza shalf of 100 dotza. So if already from Erev Shabbos, you stuck, I guess, a shovel in and removed it and stuck it back in, because you did an action and you made the hole bigger where the thing is, we're not concerned that on Shabbos you're going to remove the plant, and by moving the plant, the dirt is going to be moved, and the dirt is muktzah. So if you already prepared Erev Shabbos in the way that the Gemara said to prepare it, it's okay. V'lav aser. Amar Shmuel, Hai sakina de beni urbi. If you have a knife that are with the bricks, if again you stuck the knife in and removed it and stuck it in from Erev Shabbos, right? That's a shavavada, that's a shari, v'lav aser, for the same reason. Because you're going to remove, by moving the knife, some of the dirt with the bricks are going to be moved. So you have to make some space by sticking it in and removing it and sticking it in, so create some space around it. That way, when you remove the knife on Shabbos, it doesn't move the dirt.
Ernie, by a knife over our bricks, maybe he's talking about, when you put a knife on bricks, you sharpen it. It's not, I don't think it's got to do with the dirt here. I think it's got to do with the sharpening of the knife if you put it between bricks.
That's why you put it. So in a chanami, that's why you put it there. But it's the same svara as the dirt with the daffodil. That means don't just bring it in.
You see that that's the same.
And think that you can.
And
think that you can take the knife out. It's the same problem.
Yeah, he says it's stuck. It's stuck between the bricks. It's stuck. And so if you pull it out, it's not cleaning it, it's sharpening it. That's more than cleaning it. Otherwise, why would he put it between the bricks? I'm not sure if it's the same swirl.
Yeah, Rashi says, "Shnoatzin sakin ben shurs elevating." You would stick a knife into the rows of bricks, lishtamer, to protect the knife. But Walter, the question is, why is the Gemara demanding that you create space for it? It's got to have the same svara. That the reason from Erev Shabbos you have to stick it in a few times is to create space so that when you pull the knife out on Shabbos,
that
it's not mazes. It's not mazes.
Not taking anything off. Okay, but cleaning and could be sharpening as well. It could be both. On the knife, it could be both. Not only one thing. It's true. Cleaning is... I don't think I don't see any.
You want to say, so you want to say that you want to learn that the reason why you create some space there, because otherwise you might sharpen it, and that's the issue of sharpening.
Yeah, no, but
it's like mamachin, like scraping.
The Shulchan Aruch says that otherwise it appears to be making a new hole. On a knife, it appears to be making a new hole. It's not that it got dirt on it. That's how with knife between bricks, he says you're making a new hole.
Okay, so maybe that's a problem with binyan. So maybe, because making a hole would be binyan. So therefore, if you Erev Shabbos, stick it in and out a few times. Therefore, you widen the space, so you're not making a new hole. You made the hole already Erev Shabbos. Okay. Marzutra v'item Rav Ashi Omar v'gudisa dekoni shapir dami. But with sharpened reeds, you don't have to worry that you don't have to worry about making that hole. It's mutter, and you're not going to come to cut anything. Rashi kinimat dekelim sheyotzim har bebegez echad v'tchum zeh v'zeh. You can oh, I'm sorry. You could stick the knife into those reeds to protect the knife. You don't have to be worried that you're going to scrape the reeds and you're going to be chayav from moiche. They asked the kasha. You took turnips or radishes that were hot, and you wanted to protect its heat by putting it into grape product. So, if some of what you had buried in there remains visible, there's no problem. That if there's some seeds there, it's going to be kloim because you haven't planted it. The lo mishum shviz, not because of shmita, because there's no zriya, you didn't plant it. The lo mishum meiser. Now maybe I have to be mafresh from this, like for example, from that it's growing anew from the ground. I have to give new meiser. The lo mishum, and he told him b'Shabbos. And they're not muksa. And we're not worried about moving the dirt when you pull it out. This is a kasha and Rav Huna and the other people who said that there's a problem with when you remove things that you stuck in the ground, you're moving dirt. To Yufta, we knocked them out of the box. In fact, the Shulchan Aruch Pasuk is like all these things that if you put them in the ground, it's mutter to pull them in the ground and out. On Shabbos, we're not worried about the movement of the dirt. Exactly like the maskot of the Gemara. Okay. Have a good Shabbos. Have a good Chodesh.
Good Chodesh. Good Chodesh.
Shabbos.